everybody, welcome back to Bish's RV. My name is Josh the RV Nerd, and behind us another outdoors RV, the sister company to Northwood RV. This is their 24, 25 RLS. I see so many model numbers. The alphabet soup of this business gets to be a little bit muddy sometimes. But this is a couples camper that statistically will probably outlast the average marriage. Their whole thing is, it's not a new floor plan. It's just that it's built better. It starts right from the ground up with their custom engineered off-road chassis. They actually put shocks on their suspension system. You have more ride shock dampeners on top of that, plus the Goodyear tires that are 87 mile an hour rated. This is their Timber Ridge Mountain Series. What they found is that they, as the RVs got bigger, they got more features. But a lot of people said, we want those nice features in a small RV. Just because it's small doesn't mean we don't want nice. So you're getting things like an aluminum shrouded awning here that will help keep it protected from the weather, like low-hanging tree branches. You get thicker 2-inch sidewalls, which are, by the way, machine CNC routed, machine precise. All your cuts on this thing, all your laminated wall cuts are that way. And they are very well known for being an excellent hot, cold climate RV, and typically have some very respectable holding tank capacities. This is going to be a great model for a little camping couple. It has enough room where if you want to invite some friends over and play a game at the dinette, or maybe have a grandkid or something over. But the thing is, it has their big mountain dinette, they call it. It's a 2-bench dinette that's the size of a U dinette, and an adult could legitimately sleep over on this. 2 adults could probably sleep together in that dinette, but in many third world countries, they would be officially married come morning time. Moving on. There's some other things I really love, like True Queen Bed. That is actually a very nice mattress. All XL vent fans. The hiccup is, they're not the least expensive. They're not the lightest weight. But baby, they are built. So, I think if I had to oversimplify an ORV, I would first ask, are you familiar with Northwood RV? And an ORV it's the size of a Nash with the equipment of an Arctic Fox. If you know those brands, hopefully that might give you a frame of reference of this. So it's an 8-foot wide body with that nice vaulted ceiling, but it's got a lot of nice touch features that you don't usually see in trailers this size in this body class. You're only going to find those bigger fans, and that thing really moves some air. I am terribly impressed with that. What's kind of cool is it has its own remote control on the wall. You'll find another one of those in the ceiling in the bedroom with remote control, and another one of those in the bathroom with a wall control pad. So you have 3 of those. Now let's go ahead and let's rip the Band-Aid off. Yep, she's got carpet. She's got floor vents. If that jelly ain't your jam, this ain't your camper, man. But if you like the carpet because it keeps your tootsies warm, if you like floor vented heating because it, keeps your tootsies warm. That's something people don't realize about floor ducted heating. It will actually heat the floor, whereas cabinet ducted heating will not. So if you you don't mind wearing slippers, no big deal. It's not gonna hurt anything. But if you prefer not to, well, that might be a thing. These chairs are free floating. They are not wall huggers. They are recliners, but you're going to have to keep conscious of the fact that you need to pull them away from the walls, or your window fixtures, as it were. All the windows open for airflow, and they're very good about maximized windows. And something else they do, I think, that's really cool, and I don't know that you can really grasp it. You have to see this in person, I think, to truly appreciate it. What they call their mountain dinette. It's the size of a U dinette. It folds down into an adult-sized sleeper, but it's only a 2-bench dinette, so you're not constantly knee knocking. 4 big full adults can truly fit in there. There's some kind of misunderstanding about U-dinettes in the RV industry that they can just magically seat more people. I think because people see more cushion space, but the fact is there's not enough leg room for more than 3 people in some cases, and 4 at best, unless you put a table off the front of it. That is a bigger 22-inch oven. And I like how anytime they have the chance, they always have the extra drawers, the extra counter space, the extra overhead cabinet beside the stove, so that it's not a truly symmetrical kitchen, but it's a heck of a lot closer. And, the backsplash just looks pretty darn schmexy, if you ask me. All solid surface counters. And when we go through the kitchen storage, I will pop those countertop covers off, the sink covers. They are slotted and fitted in place. They work really, really well, which is very cool. Now, the TV over here, I'm going to sit down at the recliner real quick. This would be more of a straight-on view. And it's kind of funny because not too long ago in my career, people were like, that's awesome, that's perfect. And I've noticed recently here, some people think this is not adequate. Now, my eyesight's not getting any better, but I would be okay at it. I'm 40 and my eyes are really starting to go. Which reminds me, I'm on my last pair of contacts, and if I ruin one of them, I don't think I brought my glasses on this trip. It's going to be a heck of an interesting ride home. You know, I can't see which gate I'm getting into. I'm terribly nearsighted. You don't care. Why am I talking about my eyesight? Holy crap, they're still doing a DVD player. A lot of brands don't do that. But what I was saying about the TV, it can pivot. Well, I don't think I said that, but here you go. The TV can pivot. Little storage above, little storage below. Dinette can fold it again into a big adult-sized sleeper, but the storage under that dinette with the easy access drawers and the seating that you're sitting on there, those big foam block things, those are the CNC routed laminated punch outs for like all these big windows. They repurpose those so they don't just throw stuff away that doesn't need it. And they use those as seat decking. I think it's kind of brilliant, and it is exceptionally strong and lightweight. It's one of the very few things that is somewhat lightweight in this RV, because overall it is not a very lightweight RV. Now, one of the things I notice, now the cabinet styles and rails, if you don't know what those words mean, these are styles and rails. I believe one goes vertical, one goes horizontal. If I got that wrong, cabinet makers, please correct me. Those are, they have a sticker wrap, but they are lumber core, a wood core with screws into wood. But the doors themselves are all true wood. And the fact, I like seeing those little knots. First of all, I think the knots give it character. Some people really don't like that. They find it as an imperfection. I respect that. I'm not arguing with you by any stretch. But it does tell me that is real wood. Some of these ORVs, the toilet space has been questionable, and this one was fantastic. This one was absolutely fantastic right there, I think. And that's not a real tiny sink. Like, to use my hands as a size reference, adults can get their hands in here and do what they got to do. It's just a good chunk of counter space. I think it just does really well in here. Got the Drunken Octopus Fight Club over here because, as we all know, Drunken Octopus wants to fight, and Sober Octopus thinks you need to settle down. And again, there's a wall controller for the big XL vent fan up here in the ceiling. Now, the shower is an angle shower, and I'm not at a good angle to get it for you here, by the way. I loathe doing this, but I am going to flip over into crazy fisheye mode. And even though we don't see much more right now, this will help us. Anyway, you see that the headroom in here is good. A lot of times people see an angle shower and they think it's no elbow room. It is not the standard angle shower used in the RV industry. You can actually kind of see through that door right there. It does have a seat in the corner. Now, when I first peeked my head in here around the left, and I'm trying to go real slow not to make you motion sick, I saw this big empty slot of space. And at first, I thought that was really dumb. But then I started thinking, boy, did that hurt. But I thought, oh, more Drunken Octopus coat hangers. Nice, okay. But I started thinking, you know what would work really well over here? A broom. A broom is a really handy thing to have in an RV. And very few RVs have a place to put one. I actually don't hate that. But I mean, what do you think? Now, I did notice they are doing the peekaboo I smell you door up here. But unless you're like one of those Navy SEALs that has that little endoscopy camera, it's not like anybody's going to be peeking at you. Even Stilt Chamberlain wouldn't be able to see you up there. Now, just like we saw back in the living room, you see right there, there is that remote control for the big power ceiling vent fan. Now, the trick with this bathroom is this door to my left, the door that swings into the bedroom. I think I said bathroom. The trick with this bedroom, the door on my left over here really kind of prohibits me from getting some awesome view camera angles for you. Now, this is weird to me. TV hookups on the wall, but the wall across from the bed would be the ideal viewing location. That feels like a simple correction and a little miss to me. But hey, you know, I'm not the one that builds it. Both sides of the bed, by the way, do have household and USB outlets, which is really handy. And I am right on top of this thing, so I'm actually gonna try not to kill myself and moonwalk backwards through the bedroom door right here to kind of help you get a little bit more of a full picture of everything. That is a 60 by 80 True Queen, by the way, so that is not Bed Goblin approved. You know the guys that live under the bed that will rip your toes off if they hang out past the sheets? They don't like these. By default, This has no solar, but factory solar is available. We could also do some custom installs. That's where your solar controller would go. And I like to say solar controller. Anyway, looking at the bedroom storage here, there's actually 3 main chunks of this. You've got the stuff over the bed, you have the stuff under the bed, including some dresser drawers, and this weird little, like, I don't know if I want to call it like a cat den or something. They leave an open pocket at the foot of the bed between those drawers. But then you also have a third bonus closet and dresser across from the bed, which I think is kind of cool. And I'm just eyeballing this. I'm predicting. I think you're going to need to turn that left chair to close the slide. But I think you're going to have some awesome road mode on this. Let's check it out. Yeah, I called that one dead on. You do need to turn that one free-floating chair, so keep that in mind. I do recommend turning it the way that I've turned it here, and I say that because it will help prevent the back of that chair from getting caught behind the slide fascia. Because what folks don't always realize is, like, if you put it on the other side, you see how my fingers and my hands can go around? If the back of this chair got behind that slide fascia, it could catch back there, and something's gonna break. It's gonna be the chair or the slide, and either way, you ain't gonna be happy. And you can just walk straight through this thing. About the only thing you really lose in transit is really just the entertainment center, but I suppose you could always slide the window open. By the way, just in case you ever wondered, here's what your food sees from inside the microwave. So in terms of towability, you start hearing 24 in a model number. Usually half-ton towable alarms go off. And I don't know that this one isn't necessarily, but it does top out assuming max cargo at 9,995 pounds. The thing is, this has over 3,000 pounds of available cargo carrying capacity. And I don't know if you've been paying attention to this, but I've seen like Super Cs, diesel Super Cs, and even some big giant allegedly full-time and fifth wheels that only have like 1,100 pounds of cargo capacity. This thing has over 3,000. It's always been my experience, the RVs with a greater cargo capacity, their screws, the fasteners, the nuts and the bolts, the welds, they're not getting overstressed. And the way I kind of wrap my head around that is like, imagine if, something fell on your child or your significant other and you had to straight Hulk out to lift it off of them. One time, you could lift a lot of weight and you might hurt yourself doing it, but you could do it. You don't want to operate all day, every day, lifting weight near that capacity. Well, this RV is nowhere near that capacity. Frankly, the empty dry weight of this is maybe about 60% of the total weight of the RV. 60, like 2/3, something like that. So that is a good indication of something that is going to hold up. It's not a guarantee, but it's a thing that I've noticed through observational evidence over all the years. Big spray-on like bedliner style stone guard over here. Extremely tall tongue jack, just in case you got yourself the lifted up Bigfoot gravedigger kind of truck sort of thing. Over here, we got the toy lock situation. So like, even if it's just your patio chairs, it doesn't have to be like bicycles or something like that. Making sure that your chairs don't just go wandering down the road without your consent is kind of a nice peace of mind sort of thing. Also a nice peace of mind sort of thing, not worrying about your awning shredding. So the funny thing is your awning spends the majority of its lifetime rolled up. Very little actual weather exposure, except right at the base of the awning. Well, this one, the base of the awning, is literally that aluminum sleeve. That's the bottom of the awning. Well, if a tree branch is hanging low, or if the weather's beating down on that thing, who cares? It's not going to shred up and destroy your whole thing there. Now, we don't have stable steps on these because, again, they are made with the idea of getting off pavement sometimes. And when you're off pavement, you have an uneven, unpredictable campsite. That's not always the best thing. Now, over here, they have this thing that says Fire Pit Barbecue. That is their name. Behind that little porthole is a gas grill cooker hooker, is what that thing is. Now, I try to tell you things I like, things I don't. I'm not a big fan of a furnace exhaust on the campsite of the RV. I can kind of tolerate that. I really don't like this is a nice 10-gallon water heater, but because there wasn't room to put it on the opposite side of the RV, it had to get buried under the kitchen counter right here under the awning. That is a potentially hot surface. you will kind of want to make sure that you stay away from that. Not being a bunkhouse model, it's not as much of a concern for me, but it's still a fair point to consider. American made, 87 mile an hour rated Goodyear Endurance radials. We also have greasable Zerks and a MoRide compression rubber equalizing suspension system with 3 inches of vertical travel. That's what CRE3000 stands for. And we also have shocks in addition to that to give you better ride, better handling, and even little mud flaps on the back here so you're not flinging stones behind you, which is very nice on the other side of the RV where sometimes your sewer outlets are located. Now you may notice we've got all power stabilizers, so everything is just real push button, simple and easy on this one right here. And obviously, you see that we do have a factory installed roof ladder. I really like how they put it way off to the side though, so it's not blocking the window. Now, up top here, at a glance, nothing really to write home about. But again, the devil is in the details. Remember how we have only the bigger vent fans? And notice how you have covered vent covers? That doesn't sound right, but it doesn't sound wrong. Anyway, I think you know what I mean. I would prefer a black AC shroud. Again, I'm kind of picky like that. Maybe one of these days I'll design my own nerd-preferred series of trailers all the way around, and everybody can tell me how stupid my ideas are. But notice that, like I said, 3 vent fans. So you've got one in the living room, one in the bathroom, one in the bedroom, all the way around here. But what's a little bit interesting, no standard solar, but the ability to build a pretty good package. So by default, as you see, this is just roof solar prep. No actual catcher from the sun's rays to turn it into lightning in the batteries, you know. But you saw the 3 plugs up there. This is designed to accept 1, 2, or 3 of those Zamp, like 170 watt-ish kind of panels. And you can get 1, 2, or 3 of them, or none, obviously, from the factory. Also, I don't know if you noticed up by the nose at the ground level, there's a side plug for like a portable panel. So like if you are really getting away from everything, you're boondocking, you're untethered totally, but you're parked under a tree for some shade, you know, because you're not always running the air conditioner, not everybody brings a generator with them. Well, you could at least put a portable panel out in the sun. 200 watts will typically be about enough to offset all your light usage and stuff like that. And since they only have a 2-way fridge, you're not really doing anything that zaps the battery too awful hard unless you start running the furnace quite a bit. People don't realize those furnace fans really suck the juice. As opposed to Pauly Shore, who likes to wheeze the juice. Now, something I was kind of wondering about, sometimes with layouts like this, I'll find dual sewer outlets. I was very pleased to find that is not the case here. Just in front of the tires over here, it is a single sewer outlet, which is very, very handy. And it's actually kind of interesting. So you don't have to crawl on your hands and knees, kind of like they had, you know, the fire pit barbecue little hooker on the other side. You could just reach right through the skirting and be able to get to those, which I think is cool. And like details like this too. How even the outside shower door has the exact same magnet holdback and thick insulated treatment as your main baggage doors. And on that note, up here in the pass-through, if you take note, you can actually like reach up in here and feel it. And they even have a full layer of like block foam under there so that you're creating a weather barrier between you and your baggage doors and just doing everything they can to give you really just one of the most comfortable camping experiences you could get. I hope you enjoy the continued expansion of coverage and all the different brands that I've been able to bring you to the channel here since becoming a member of the Bish's RV team. If you're new with us, hit that subscribe button. Never know what I have coming out tomorrow because I don't know what I have coming out tomorrow. I can't keep track of them all. But neither here nor there. If you've returned and you like just seeing all the stuff, at least hit the like button, leave me notes to say thanks, nerd. Appreciate all the Nerd Herd members that tune in all the time. And of course, I'll leave you a link in the description to check for pricing and availability, whether you're curious or whether you're serious. And remember, we don't do hidden dealer fees. I'm tired. I'm going to go back to my room and crash for a while. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.